Good morning, friends. I am Sushma Puri, author and founder of the Human Dharma, the right human way of living that helps one live a good life and enrich the whole. The Human Dharma is a book and a US based non profit religious organization. My book, The Human Dharma, is available on Amazon.com, Barnes and Noble, Walmart, and other bookstores. Today I will read part of chapter 2, What is a Human? Human, its definition, and derivative right way of living. Definition of a human. A thorough analysis of a human's origin and a human's being reveals that a human is an evolved, multidimensional, and part of the whole living being. Derivative right way of living. A human is primarily a living being. Like any living being, a human primarily wants her own survival and happiness. Therefore, a human's right way of living would be that which ensures her own survival and happiness. As evidenced by the science of biology and the science of anthropology, a human's form has evolved from other forms of life. A human is a product of life's millions of years of evolution. This fact shows the relationship between a human and the whole of life, the earth's flora and fauna. A human ought to respect this fact, live in the company of nature, feel compassion for other animals, and live and let them live. Doing so deeply nourishes a human's psyche. Since a human evolved from other animals, there lurks beneath her moral and self-controlled exterior a deep dwelling animality which, given a little incentive, flares her and makes her act wrong. This deep animality of a human is exhibited by her blind emotions and passions of anger, violence, greed, sadistic traits, and the quest for power. A human ought to understand this fact and season her all emotions with thoughts. A human ought never to act under the spell of mere emotions, but feel, think, and then act. A human is a multidimensional living being. The various dimensions of her being are physical, emotional, intellectual, moral, and spiritual. Each of these dimensions has its own need. A human's right way of living is that which nourishes each dimension of her form and thus helps her enjoy the depth, height, and sheer bliss of being a human. This would include right diet and right exercise to ensure a human's physical health, practicing compassion, and having emotionally nourishing relationships like family and friends to enrich her emotional dimension, receiving a good education, and reading, thinking, and developing logical and other intellectual abilities to fulfill her intellectual dimension. Thinking about right and wrong and trying to do what is right for all to enrich her moral dimension, and practicing some religion, meditation, and having a vast worldview and compassion for all to enrich her spiritual dimension. A human who practices and nourishes each dimension of her being is a happy, balanced human who enjoys the height and bliss of being a human. A human is not alone and independent, but a part of the vast whole. First the human whole, then the whole of life, and then the universe. A human in her form and life is deeply related to each of these sub-wholes, is a product of each, depends upon it for her own survival, is affected by it, and affects it too by her own actions. First, a human is part of the human whole, our human-made world created and maintained by humans, made of us all, 7 billion humans, the humanity, and our cumulative achievements in all aspects of the human life. A human is born and reared in her human whole, not in a jungle. Our human whole is like a palace under construction in which we humans are born, live, use, and enjoy things and knowledge created and left to us by our forefathers. We live, create our own things and knowledge, add on to it, and leave a better human whole for our children who will do the same for their children, and so on. It is the human whole which gives meaning to a human's life. I, as a human, will die one day, but will leave behind my work, profession, and my children to the human whole. A human ought to enrich her human whole by giving her very best in the form of her work and by rearing good children. I as a human am born into my human whole, live in it for a certain number of years, make my contribution to it, and depart, leaving behind my footprints in the form of my work and my children. Next, a human and her human whole are parts of the whole of life. The entire human whole flourishes in the lap of the whole of life. A human depends upon it for her survival and well-being. The whole of life is our earth with its acres of green flora on the land and in the seas, and with its trillions of fauna in its airs, on its lands, and inside its oceans. Our entire humanity is just a thin streak of walking beings amid its trillions of fauna on lands, and our human whole, for its own survival, depends on the whole of life. We humans need its flora and we need its fauna. We need the whole of life to go on. If this goes well, we go well too. A human is affected by the whole of life, the way it is, and affects it too by her own actions. Keeping this fact in mind, a human ought to enrich her whole of life by growing more plants, causing less pollution, having fewer children, and respecting other forms of life by letting them live too. Doing so will help us maintain a clean and green earth with its variety of flora and fauna. that we humans need for our own survival. A human, her human whole, and her whole of life, in turn, are parts of the biggest whole, the universe. The universe is a moving force, much like a potter's wheel, which keeps moving and creating new and new, varied and beautiful forms. Our Earth, our Sun, trillions of stars and planets, and humans are all creations of this whole. It is a vast, highly organized, and extremely intelligent system of which we all are parts. A human is a creation of the whole, the universe, created in a very special way. She ought to understand her own special nature and talent, live by it, choose a profession by it, and enjoy living herself and enrich her whole too. I derive the principle of Om from the working of the universe. Every entity in the universe exists and functions in a way so that it enjoys its existence and somehow enriches the whole too. For example, the sun enriches the earth enriches the whole of life, and so on. The derivative right way of living, or the human dharma from this is live by Om, whereby I, as a human, live a good life myself and enrich my whole too. I have discussed it in part 2, way of living. The above summarizes a human's make and the derivative right way of a human's living, or the human dharma from it. Next, I will proceed to the second issue of a human's existence, human life. An analysis, definition, and the derivative right way of living constitute the third chapter of this book. What is human life? Thank you, friends. I hope you like my video. Please like it and subscribe if you did. Also, please share it. That will help me in spreading good teachings of the human dharma to all. Please join us on Facebook and Twitter. Your comments and questions are welcome anytime. See you soon for my next video. Have a great day.